Hey everybody, welcome to Noos-letter of the Foundation for the Law of Time, issue 118. This is the lunar moon edition of the Year of the White Magnetic Wizard. And I don't know about you, but this year has been going by really fast already. So 28 days gone, and here we are already heading into the lunar moon. So the lunar moon has the totem animal of the scorpion, and has the question, what is my challenge? So it seems like a good fitting question and fitting totem animal for each other. And I'll also tell you a little bit about the scorpion. I recently had the privilege of reading through a fascinating book all about scorpions with my insect enthusiast son, Aiden, and we learned tons of things about scorpions, which was completely mind-blowing. And there were a couple things that I thought were very remarkable that I'll share with you. And they have to do with the scorpion mothers. Scorpion mothers are very dedicated. They carry they gestate the babies for up to 2 years, up to 2-year gestation cycle. Just imagine such a small creature. I mean, sometimes they're this big too, yeah. But that's still a long gestation for these tiny babies. And when they come out, the mother will keep them on her back until they're big enough to take care of themselves. And I forget how long that takes, but she has them there for quite some time. And some species, the little babies will pile up on her back just like a big dog pile, just wrestling on, climbing on top of each other. And other species, they'll actually arrange themselves in neat little rows upon her back. So I thought that was interesting about the scorpion, which is often seen as such a, say, fearsome or terrifying, creepy, or otherwise off-putting type of a creature, but it still has its own elegance and beauty in its way of living its life. So I thought that was interesting to share. And just like last moon, this is our new format with the videos, and I'm Jacob Rhythmic Dragon, the Director of Communications for the Foundation for the Law of Time. And I just want to share with you a little bit about this lunar moon. So we're going to look again at the wave spells, the galactic activation portals, and the clear signs. Now, I'm going to stay consistent with looking at these three things so that you can see how everything's always changing and fluctuating. So even with keeping a consistent form, just looking at wave spells, galactic portals, and clear signs, every moon there's going to be different textures, different patterns, different codes. It'll have a whole, each one will have its own dynamic uniqueness compared with the last and the next. So first, I want to tell you about the wave spells of this moon. And what I'm doing is referring to our Star Traveler's 13 Moon Almanac of Synchronicity. Before every moon, there's a moon at a glance page, so you can get an eagle's eye view of the architecture of time that we're moving into in this 28-day cycle. And there's 3 wave spells represented in this moon. Typically speaking, there's 3 wave spells in every moon. Not in whole, but there's 3 wave spells represented. So in this moon, the first 11 days are the last 11 days of the yellow sun wave spell. So we began that wave spell at the end of the magnetic moon. We're going to complete it this moon in the first 11 days. Yellow sun wave spell, universal fire, enlightenment, life in the lunar scorpion moon of challenge. That wave spell will be followed by another wave spell. And before I jump into that, the yellow sun wave spell, it's a yellow wave spell. It starts on a yellow day, it concludes on a yellow day. It concludes on Kin 52, yellow cosmic human. And after the completion of a yellow wave spell, you're going to go into a new wave spell, but also a new 52-day cycle known as a castle. Now, the yellow sun wave spell is the 4th out of 4 wave spells. 13-day wave spell times 4 is 52. Of the first castle of the whole galactic, the 260 kin galactic spin. The first 52 days of that cycle are known as the Red Eastern Castle of Turning, the Court of Birth, where we get everything turning and birthing in our 260-day cycle. So the completion of the yellow sun wave spell marks the completion of that castle. The next day marks the initiation of the next castle, the white northern castle of crossing, known as the Court of Death. It's the white castle, and the white wave spell in the white castle is the Worldbridger wave spell of death, and hence it is the white northern castle Court of Death. So the first wave spell of that is the red Skywalker wave spell, and that wave spell is represented in its entirety in this lunar moon. It goes from day 12 to day 24 of the moon. So the red Skywalker wave spell is about space, exploration, and wakefulness. And it also has connections to the powers of prophecy as well, which I'll touch on when we speak about the clear signs. The next wave spell after that, as I mentioned, is the White Worldbridger wave spell, and it will, the first 4 days of that wave spell will be the last 4 days of this moon. The White Worldbridger wave spell begins on day 25 of this moon, and it has the powers of equalizing, opportunity, and death. Death, transcendence, transformation, going beyond something, the universal aspect of what death is, and you know, frankly, the sacred aspect of what it is. So those are the wave spells that we have in this lunar moon of challenge. And this has been a challenging video to make. I'll confide in you that when recording this computer crashed so many times and it was just, hey, lunar tone of challenge. So now it's working out, and God willing, we'll get to the end of the recording before it crashes again. So the next thing we want to look at is the galactic activation portals. The second day of this moon is the first galactic activation portal. So it's kind of cool. It's moon 2. The second day is a galactic portal. So you have a nice little galactic acupuncture point happening there. And it's kin 43 blue self-existing night. It's the first of 6 galactic portals this moon. And the way they're arranged in the moon has a nice symmetry as well. The first week of the moon has only that one galactic portal, the blue self-existing night. The next week of the moon, the white refining week, you have 4 weeks, red, white, blue, and yellow. Red initiates, white refines, blue transforms, yellow ripens. So the second week, the white refining week, we have 2 galactic activation portals. So again, week number 2, we got 2 portals. And the portals there are kin 50 and kin 51. So that means we have 2 galactic activation portal days in a row in the second week. Kin 50, white spectral dog. Kin 51, blue crystal monkey. And then the third week has 1 galactic activation portal on day 3 of the week. So the third week has day 3 as the galactic activation portal, and that's kin 58, white rhythmic mirror. And then finally the fourth week, the yellow week of ripening, the second day of that week is the kin 64, yellow crystal seed. And the final day of that week, which is also the final day of the whole moon, is kin 69, red self-existing moon, another galactic activation portal, our 6th and final galactic activation portal this moon. And this brings me to some interesting patterns in the moon itself. It's the lunar moon, so it's kind of a very moony moon. And the last day, the completion of this lunar moon is on a red moon day, red self-existing moon. And not to mention the new moon within this 28-day moon, the day of the new moon, which will be Dali 8 or August 30th, Gregorian calendar. That's kin 49, red planetary moon. So we have the new moon on day 8. It's planetary moon day. The completion of the moon is self-existing moon day. The full moon that happens in this moon, which is on day 23 of the moon on September 14th, that is on the galactic activation portal day, yellow crystal seed. So I'm just streaming this all out for you, just for your awareness, so you can see, and as you move through, you can refer to the moon at a glance in the Noos-letter or your calendar that you have, and you take note of this, this landscape that we're moving across. So the full moon, as I was saying, is on kin 64, yellow crystal seed. So some interesting articulation points in the moon, being that it's the lunar moon, the new moon is on a red moon day, the completion, the 20th day of this moon is on a red moon day, the full moon is on a galactic activation portal day, kin 64, which is also interesting in terms of the moon and its connection with our life, being that the crystal seed 64, the number 64, corresponds to the number of codons in our DNA, the code of life. So the moon is connected with our life, and the DNA is connected with our life, and we're just looking at the connections. So there's all the galactic portals for this moon. Lastly, I want to look at the Pakal Votan clear signs. Now I'll reiterate that what these are clear galactic signatures that were inscribed along the outer edge of the sarcophagus lid of Pakal Votan, who was a famous Mayan king, and also we know him as a famous time traveler. And the Temple of Inscription, wherein his sarcophagus was discovered, and the sarcophagus itself, including Pakal Votan himself, is intimately connected to, say, the cosmology, the mythology, and all the code structure of the law of time and the dream spell. So on the clear sign days, I just like to emphasize these so that you're aware of them, so that we can remain cognizant that it is a clear sign day, and through our own self-reflection kind of unravel the mystery of them a little bit. So there's 3 clear sign days, and they're all in week number 3. So that's the first one's Kin 57, red overtone Earth. The second one is Kin 58, white rhythmic mirror, which you remember was a galactic portal day. And the last one is Kin 60, yellow galactic sun. Now, all of these 3 clear signs occur in the Skywalker wave spell of prophecy, which I mentioned before. Now, this just kind of harkens to the mystery of the connection between the prophecies of Mesoamerican culture. The Skywalker wave spell begins with Kin 53, magnetic Skywalker, which is the code of the signature of Quetzalcoatl, the Mesoamerican culture hero, culture bringer, prophet, and synchronizer supreme as well, and also a 4th dimensional factor of synchronization in general. So the Skywalker wave spell is kind of like a fractal of the mythology of Quetzalcoatl, is kind of how I like to look at it, because it starts with the signature of Quetzalcoatl himself, and it completes with the red cosmic serpent, which in his mythology he departed on a raft of 13 serpents. So there we go. The cosmic serpent is serpent with tone 13, which concludes the Skywalker wave spell, and also concludes the mythology of Quetzalcoatl in the original myth. So within this same wave spell are these 3 clear signs that are very sacred to Pakal Votan, the Mayan sage seer, synchronizer, time traveler. Kin 60, galactic sun, is his galactic signature. Kin 58, white rhythmic mirror, is his disincarnation date, the date that he died. So that's a bit about the clear signs. There's one other prophetic note within this Skywalker wave spell, and that leads us into the final note of a new cycle in this moon. So day 13 of this moon concludes a 65-day cycle, the white northern season of love. And that's on September 4th, the 13th day of this moon, on Kin 54, white lunar wizard. So that completes the 65-day love season. The next day is Blue Electric Eagle, which begins a 65-day blue western season of vision, the blue galactic spectrum, the eagle season of vision. And so this Blue Electric Eagle, as a matter of fact, is the galactic signature of the day of the harmonic convergence global peace meditation in August 16th, 1987. So this was the first globally synchronized meditation. And as a matter of fact, this Blue Electric Eagle is the 3rd day of the Skywalker wave spell, Quetzalcoatl, and the Electric Eagle day being the harmonic convergence day of 1987. That was the literal conclusion of a prophecy cycle of Quetzalcoatl lasting 1,144 years. And so you can learn more about that at the publications of the Law of Time, but suffice it to say that 1,144 years had completed right on the dot on that day, August 16th, 1987, and that was Blue Electric Eagle. And that was the day when millions of people around the world showed up at sacred sites to do the first globally synchronized meditation for peace, and the hopes and the vision and the prayer and the intention to create a whole new world of peace. And so it was a declaration of the sun dancers and the rainbow warriors of their being here and not giving up. So that's the lunar moon. You got those 3 wave spells: yellow sun wave spell, red Skywalker wave spell, white world bridger wave spell. We're beginning the blue season of vision. And so I hope you guys maintain your high vision throughout this moon, and I'll see you in Noos-letter number 119.